Que pasa YouTube, happy Friday to all my hackers out there. Hopefully you're all having a good day today. Now, I don't know if my Pokemon Speed battle went up today or not, but if it did, a link to that should be in the battle and in the description down below, so make sure to go check it out. Now, I have something that I want to talk to you guys about at the end of this battle regarding my uploads for next week, so please stick around for that. Now, as you can see for my team, it's going to be a reamp version of the team I used in my previous battle, revolving around Regirock and Emboar. And from the looks of my opponent's team, there's not really anything that I'm going to be scared of outside of the Lapras and the Absol. Lapras just because if he is sub-Dragon Dance, I could be in a bad situation. Then Absol, if he is sub SD, I could also be in a bad situation. But with that, I can pretty much deal with most of his team. So let's see how the battle turned out, guys, and let's get right into it. So, I'm going to be leading off with my Rotom, as my opponent would be leading off with his Garbodor. Now, the reason why I led off my Rotom was because I knew I could Volt Switch on whatever he decides to lead off with, and that way I could switch in the appropriate check or counter to it. But because he led off with Garbodor, I know he's more than likely just going to go straight for a layer of Spikes. So, I'm going to switch into my Wartortle, but he actually ends up going for Toxic Spikes. Not entirely too sure why. I mean, I have a Vileplume on my team. Maybe he just misclicked as he's going to go for a Gunk Shot. Luckily for me, he's not going to get the 30% poison, and I'm going to be able to hit him with a Scald. But judging for how much damage that Scald did, I know going for another one would be pointless unless I was just fishing for a burn. So I'm actually going to go for the Yawn as he reveals to have Rollout. Not really too sure why he's carrying Rollout on Garbodor. I mean, it does learn Rock Blast, but to each their own, I suppose. And I'm actually going to switch into my Vileplume, and Vileplume is definitely an amazing Pokemon in the NU tier. This thing is a fucking threat. So thinking that he will want to save his Garbodor and switch out, I'm actually going to go for the Leech Seed, but to my surprise, he ends up staying in. So I'm thinking that he more than likely just wants to burn his Sleep Turn, so I'm going to switch into my Regirock so I can get out my Stealth Rocks, but he's going to pull his own Double Switch out to the Ursaring. Now, knowing that I will be able to take at least one Guts boosted super effective close combat, I'm actually going to stay in, and to my surprise, I end up taking this close combat a lot better than I thought it would, and I'm going to be able to finish him off with the Stone Edge. Well, not finish him off with the Stone Edge, but be able to knock him down to a point where the burn will be able to finish him off thanks to the -1 physical defense drop. Now, if you're wondering why that close combat did so much, is because this Regirock is actually max HP and max attack as opposed to max defense and max HP, as he's going to bring in the Gardevoir. Now, because Regirock do have a solid 100 base special defense, I'm actually going to stay in and go for my Stealth Rocks, but to my surprise, he ends up taking me out. So I'm thinking that maybe he is more of an offensive variant, as he's going to switch out as I bring in my Lickilicky, and I'm going to go straight for the Body Slam as he brings in the Lapras. Now, obviously thinking that he might be a Dragon Dance set, I'm going to switch into my Vileplume, but to my surprise, he ends up going for the Heal Bell, which automatically tells me that his Gardevoir is not going to be supportive, so he's going to be more than likely a Choice Scarf or Choice Specs variant, as I'm going to stay in, go for Leech Seed, thinking that he will want to switch out, fearing the Giga Drain, but no, he does decide to stay in, and I actually end up taking the Ice Beam a lot better than I thought it would. So after the Leech Seed and the Black Sludge combination, I will be able to take one more Ice Beam and get off a Giga Drain on him and hopefully be able to finish him off, but unfortunately for me, he's actually going to end up taking me out. Now, what I should have done was switch into my Lickilicky, not wanting to take another Ice Beam, but hindsight is 2020 at this point, and there's nothing I can do about it, as I'm going to switch into my Rotom, and knowing that he's not going to want to stay in and take an electric move, I'm actually going to go for the Volt Switch as he brings in the Absol. So I'm going to make a bit of a questionable play, and I'm actually going to switch into my Emboar, but the reason why I went out into my Emboar is because I completely forgot about the fact that Absol tend to carry Psycho Cut. Heck, I forgot that Absol even learned Psycho Cut, but thanks to my heavy HP investment, I'm actually going to be able to live that, and I'm going to be able to finish him off with a Blaze boosted, stabbed, Choice Banded Adamant Flare Blitz, as he's going to bring in the Electabuzz. Now, knowing he's just going to go for the Volt Switch or maybe go straight for a Thunderbolt, I'm going to switch into my Lickilicky as he does go for the Volt Switch. Now, I didn't notice that he was Life Orb because I did look away at the time, so I'm still thinking he's more than likely a Choice Scarf variant, as he's going to bring in the Garbodor, and I know because he brought it in, he more than likely just wants to go for a layer of Spikes or Toxic Spikes, seeing as I did lose my Vileplume, I would not be able to absorb them, so I'm actually going to switch into my Emboar. So basically, even if he switches in his Lapras, that thing is going to take a massive chunk of damage from this Flare Blitz, so he just decides to leave in his Garbodor as Death Fodder, and because I am in Blaze range, that's going to be an easy one-hit KO, as I'm going to switch back into my Rotom just so I can get switch initiative on whatever he decides to bring in. So he ends up switching out into his Lapras, which is fine by me, because I'm actually going to go straight for a Thunderbolt instead of going for the Volt Switch. Now, judging for how much damage this did to the Gardevoir, I'm completely completely sure that this is more of an offensive variant than a defensive variant. Plus, I don't see any leftovers, so even if he had been a plus speed nature with Scarf, I myself am a plus speed nature with Scarf, so I am going to be faster than him, as he's going to switch into his Electabuzz and not wanting to take a possible Thunderbolt, still thinking that he is choice because, as I said, I did not see any Life Orb. I'm going to switch into my Lickilicky. Now, I knew that a Focus Blast will be able to finish me off, so I decided just to click a move and go for the Wish, but for some reason he ends up going for the Substitute. Not entirely too sure why. I guess maybe thinking that I will want to switch out, but at this point in the battle, I have no real reason to keep my Lickilicky around because my Rotom basically deals with the rest of his team. So he goes for the Focus Blast, and that does well over half. That's about 60%. Now, that actually did a whole lot more than I thought it would. So I'm going to be a bit of an asshole, and I'm actually just going to stay in and basically Life Orb stall him. And knowing that another Focus Blast would not be able to take me out, I'm actually going to go for a Wish. But what I should have done was gone for a Body Slam, but as I said, I decided to be an asshole and just Life Orb stall him. So he unfortunately does miss, but then again, 70 accuracy moves is nothing to rely on. So after the Wish, I am at full HP, so I'm just going to stay in and go for another Wish, as he's going to die off to the Life Orb after hitting me with one final Focus Blast. So he's going to switch into his Lapras. Now, obviously, because Lapras can't do anything to me and I can't do anything to Lapras, I'm actually going to go for the Dragon Tail instead of just going for a Body Slam. And I'm actually going to Dragon Tail him out to Gardevoir, considering that that is his last Pokemon. So I'm going to just stay in and I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail. I also could have gone for the Body Slam, but really it doesn't matter at this point because after I get rid of Gardevoir, the battle is basically mine. Now, I actually ended up taking this Focus Blast a lot better than I thought it would. Now, sorry about all the PO pop-up stuff there, guys. Something was going on. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, his last is the Lapras, and at this point the battle is basically mine, so that's going to be the victory in my favor. Now, what I wanted to talk to you guys about my uploads next week was that I'm actually going to plan to upload every day next week from Monday to Sunday and just see how it does. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Now, I want you guys to comment down below if you do want to see daily uploads. Now, what I'm planning to do is obviously upload battles, as well as some Let's Play parts and hopefully some Pokemon trivia. And yeah, guys, with that, hopefully you did enjoy this quick little battle. If you did, please make sure to click the like button. It's just a second of your time and it does help me get known by more people. And if this is my first battle that you're seeing, make sure to subscribe to see more content. And with that, I do believe I am out of here, YouTube. So yeah, guys, later.